Hey, what's going on, guys? So I feel like everybody nowadays, whenever they talk about Iron Man, they're always talking about how Tony Stark, he was a bad guy until he got injured, blah, 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 blah. He had to learn a lesson, blah, 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 blah. Humility, blah, blah, blah. And look, I get it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is popular, and it's 99.9969420% of the world's frame of reference for the character, but it's not accurate, which isn't a bad thing. You know, this isn't me pulling my pants down and waving my pseudo-intellectual comic book cock and telling everyone to look at it because I know the truth and I am the ultimate authority on comics or whatever. I really like Robert Downey Jr. and the MCU's take on Iron Man. But it is a take. One that works for the movies, but isn't necessarily a reflection of where the character in the comics comes from. Because Tony Stark was never really a bad guy. I mean, he was a weapons manufacturer, so if you want to judge the character based on that, go ahead. But taking a more deontological approach, Tony never really cared for making weapons. He did so because that's what his father's company did, and that's what he inherited. But Tony himself was always an idealist. He wanted to use technology to build a better world for tomorrow for humanity as a whole. In Iron Man Extremis by Warren Ellis and Eddie Granov, a large part of that story is made up of flashbacks which show Tony's updated origin. So instead of being injured in the Korean War like he was originally in Tales of Suspense issue 39, he's injured in Afghanistan. And that's all part of Marvel's sliding timescale, so nobody really ages. But in the flashbacks, Tony talks about how all of his personal advancements and breakthroughs in weapons technology was a means to an end. He was using the short-sighted nature of the military-industrial complex as a way to steal money from the government and, as he puts it, pay for the future in blood. I mean, yeah, that's bleak and pragmatic, but he's not a dick about it. Unlike his Marvel Cinematic Universe counterpart, he clearly does care, and it does weigh on him, even before his transformation into becoming Iron Man. Throughout the MCU, Tony's character arc is all about redemption, being a hero to make up for his actions and behavior from a previous life. If anything, MCU Tony has more in common with comic book Doctor Strange than anyone else. Stephen Strange was a selfish, short-sighted asshole who was humbled after a car accident damaged his hands beyond repair. His pathos is helping as many people as he possibly can to make up for only dealing with clients who could afford his services. That sounded a little dirtier than it needed to.
Sorry, children.
Now, the MCU doesn't really play up this aspect of the character, probably because by the time Doctor Strange was introduced, the whole redemption arc would have been seen as redundant, I think. Look, I don't know. The point is, Tony Stark isn't a character who's all about redemption. Well, I mean, he is now, because Civil War happened, and nobody seems to be able to let that go, despite the fact that Tony was in the right initially, before things got a little out of hand, but I digress. But yeah, that's just something that's been on my mind lately. Iron Man isn't a character born out of redemption, because Tony Stark was never this Ebenezer Scrooge archetypal billionaire. He was always a good boss. He cared about Stark International. He cared about the people that worked there. He was always a philanthropist. Like, I don't know, man. Like, even his more egregiously obnoxious Ultimate Universe counterpart, which the MCU is primarily pulling from for inspiration, all he ever wanted to do was build computers and robots. His call to action wasn't some bitter irony that he had to learn a lesson from. It was a terminal cancer diagnosis. And in the end, all he wanted to do was spend his final years doing anything and everything that he possibly could to help as many people with the time that he had left. And across the board, really, as far as comics are concerned, Tony Stark's always been a character who's just wanted to help people. And he often did that by inventing things. And I just wish that didn't feel lost in a lot of contemporary discussion about the character. That's all. Anyways, fanboy rant over. I just wanted to get that off my chest. But let me know in the comment section. Am I tripping? But let me know down below in the comment section. Is this something that you also kind of have been catching on to? If you're like an Iron Man comic book fan, like just I don't know. Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm the Mystical Green Beanie. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, adios, nachos.